You are listening to the podcast To Be Single or Not to Be by Shanna Montana, a podcast where we talk about the single life, dating, and relationships so you can make a decision at the end of each episode to be single or not to be. All right, so ladies, how do we stop ourselves from fantasizing about the future so soon and just stay in the moment? Because I know I've been guilty of meeting a guy and hanging out like 1 or 2 times, or meeting a guy and haven't even really hung out yet, and we're already fantasizing about, you know, what we would look like together, what the Instagram post gonna say, what the kids might look like. We start immediately thinking about the future, and we are like 15 minutes into the courtship or the hanging out. How do we stop ourselves from doing that? And why do we do it? Is it because we just want it so bad?
I think it's the desire of this person potentially needing whatever it is that you were looking for, and so you instantly be like, "Oh my God, like this is it."
Yeah. Are you so hopeful?
I'm guilty of it. Back when I was in college, like my ex now, but I was like, "Well, I had our kids' names picked out. Like we have a boy, it's gonna be this name, a girl, this name. Like we're gonna live here if we get married.
Yeah.
Like that whole thing." And it's like not realizing that we are both still going through a phase in life, let alone in a relationship. And it's like, but it's also that desire of having that, and like nobody really wants to wait forever for something that they really don't want all their life,
right?
You know, I mean, essentially you do have to wait for a certain period of time, but nobody wants to wait years and years and years to get to that point, right? It looks so good right now.
It looks like the answer to the prayer is right there in front of you.
Yeah, it's like, I can't let it pass me by. Let me jump on this.
Let me jump into it.
I'm planning everything out.
Yeah,
don't
right
worry
now.
about it.
I got it.
Yeah.
What do y'all think?
I mean, I think, too, it could be about the space that you're in, the place that you are, especially if you have friends around you who are getting married or having kids. That could be like, ooh, I can't be the only one, a single person that comes to all the functions. They got nobody, and they looking at me like, girl, we're going to meet you find somebody for you, or such and such got somebody. You know, you don't want to be that person. So I think a lot of times that's why we do that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think so. Absolutely. Looking at the circle around you sometimes can kind of be enticing to be like, I'm the last one left standing.
Yeah, like, I got to make this work.
Yeah.
That and physical seasons. Like, I had to acknowledge, doing a little reflection. I was like, dang. So, winter when everybody else want to boo up, I'd be good. But when summer come around, I'd be like, oh, it'd be so cute to walk in the park and hold hands. You know, everybody out at music festivals. I want to boo. I can go show off during the summer.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But it's cute bathing suit for exactly. So, I think it's all that, like knowing who you are, especially. Because like I said, that's my time of the year where it's like I just want somebody that's gonna sit and listen to me.
Yeah,
like, I need to have some pillow talk. Like, can I call you? Like, we gonna fall asleep while we on the phone together. Like,
back in high school, I get it, the different seasons, because you know your summer is act up season. So I don't think, you know, nobody try to really sit around. If you're not already in something, you know, that's a whole nother story. So when it comes to this, you know, we fantasize and, you know, we got to make sure we get the emoji hearts out our eyes and come back to reality. So what are some red flags during this phase of phase 2? This is right before you have the talk. So you ramping up. What's some red flags you should be paying attention to that, you know, are like, don't ignore that, sis. That's not good.
Finances. If they cannot budget, if they are always, can I borrow $5 here? You know, can I? You mind covering this? Can we? Was it go Dutch? Whatever that is.
Like, whatever that is.
What the hell are you doing with your damn money? That's a big thing for me. Like, if you don't know how to manage your money,
you can't afford this lifestyle.
Right?
This
You
life.
cannot come over here.
No,
that's the deal breaker.
And disrupt this. Yeah, I think so too.
Disrespect for me. So there's 3 keys. Lying, especially when you lying in my face,
even by omission.
That means I had to go find out. I had to ask you them extra. Like, okay, I didn't just mean did you not take that? I meant like, if you saw it and you didn't know it was anybody's, but you took it, but you know this is my house.
You know,
right?
You didn't steal it.
You know what I'm saying? Right. It didn't belong to nobody. No, it belonged to somebody. You just didn't take much to add his house. You know, so having to repeat myself, like I done told you 1,001 times, like this is the way I like to communicate, or this is what I like. but you still keep giving me the opposite, that's disrespect to me because you know what I want,
right.
but you're not doing it.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm assuming it's on purpose.
Right.
So for me, that's red flag. Like, we don't need to take this no further.
I like that. Disrespect. Finances, disrespect, absolutely.
I think how you handle conflict with each other is a red flag, because if we're having a disagreement,
right,
we're adults.
Yeah.
So I don't need you to yell, cuss, and or scream at me. Don't threaten to, people are quick to say, well, we ain't got to do this then.
Yeah. Oh, bye.
Like, if that's how you handle a minor disagreement, imagine us being married with children.
The shit really
me and you get into it, and you say, I'm out. No, we got 2 motherfucking kids in this house. We're talking about I'm out.
I'm finna kill everybody.
Everybody. Okay? So it's like, if you can't, that's a big thing for me, because it leads into, like, communication is, like, number 1 on my list. But how we handle disagreements sets the tone for how we move down the road, because you're going to always have that. You're 2 different people.
Right.
But if you can't sit here and have this disagreement like an adult, we good.
Yeah. I agree. Communication, we talked about in the beginning, phase 1. And that's the rate they have to pay attention in, because most times a person can't communicate in phase 1. They damn sure can't communicate in phase 2. And I think another part of that is a lack of ambition. I'm not saying that you have to go out and find the cure for cancer.
Right.
But if you are in a position where, say, you are at a job and you feel like you want to go to the next level or do something different, or you have a business idea, what are you doing to pursue that?
Right.
What are you personally doing in your home, in the community, in your family? How driven, like, it's not always about, what you're putting out, but how driven are you to, be in the best shape of your life, look your best, put your best energy for it. If you're just lazy, like, if you don't move, that's what a lot of people always say about me. I move a lot. Like, I don't mind getting up, going, doing whatever for anybody. So I need somebody, like, and I've said this before, Bishop Walker says, lazy cannot be with busy, because lazy gonna be sitting there looking at busy real crazy. And I may not even be doing a whole lot, but it's a lot to you because you're not doing anything. And if you lazy, your money probably not gonna be right. If you lazy, you don't got no problem with disrespecting, because you disrespecting yourself by not living up to your fullest potential. And then absolutely, if you lazy, you don't care nothing about communicating. You don't care nothing about me leaving or what I'm asking you to do or what role I'm supposed to be playing in the household. None of that stuff. So I think that those are all, just some core red flags, ladies and gentlemen, that you can start with there. If you look at those things and evaluate and don't dismiss anything. Don't give the benefit of your doubt to any of it. If you look at it all on the surface level, very directly, and say, looking at these 4 things that we just talked about, how does this person hold up to those things without trying to make a compromise or sacrifice, and they don't hold up, you probably need to exit, because at our age, there are just some core fundamentals that people have to have in place. And not saying people can't change, but there are certain things that you should be able to do and willing to do in order to get to that next phase of phase 3. And if you aren't doing them, I probably need an exit stage left. And that's that on that. So I think we want to talk about next. What things should be going on in this phase? And I'm going to give it to you in a second about the friends, because I think you all should be dating, going on lots of dates, having fun, communicating, we just talked about. I think talking about the future, I think in phase 2 it's safe to talk about what may be coming up next. Are we going, and it's not about sitting them down at this point to have the talk, but just making sure that you're in the right direction. Like, how are you still seeing other people? Because even though I'm a fan of having a few people around, at some point in this window, those people should fade out. They start to fade them out. So start talking about the future and what that looks like, because I think too, you got to talk about it, because what if you're dealing with somebody that they didn't tell you this, but in 6 months, they finna move to London. And it never came up.
And you never had the conversation?
You never had the conversation. No, he like, where you going? I'm out, sis. I'm gone. So, talking about the future, really digging in to see if it's a good fit, and in all of it, being mindful that it is the honeymoon phase. Still, everything feels good. So, I want to go into, when do you tell your friends about him? I'm going to give it to you, Mika. Do you think during this phase you tell your friends about him?
Man, so if we not official yet, nah.
Okay.
Nah.
That's the new rule 2019. We're not official. Don't tell your friends, your mama, your cousin. You can tell somebody when you're going on a date so they'll know you don't come amiss.
You say.
But don't be, girl, I met Tyrone. No.
Cause she or he gonna help you cut them off real quick.
Or she or he may gas you up in the wrong way.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, girl, I'm so, y'all should be doing X, Y, Z, gas you up when they don't even know, and you don't even know yet who this person really is.
Yeah.
So I think that it's important because in the past, I know I've been guilty of, it may be 2-3 months and my friend having a barbecue and I'm going to bring so-and-so, you know, we cool. Nope, you're not getting invited to nothing. So I walk up like, y'all, this is my man. Or he does the same. I saw a girl put a meme on Instagram, said, by the time y'all see my man on social media, we've been together for 3 years.
I seen it.
So,
Yes.
like, where he been? Right here. Perched.
Still ain't on social media.
Right. And how long has it been for you?
Like over a year.
So, yeah. So, you, like, probably have a world record by now, you know. People do what they say, no face, no case.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, we talk about highlight reels. Let me see how I can zoom in on this photo.
right.
He's still in it, but I'm gonna zoom in enough only I'm in the optical field.
Yeah.
And then when I get ready to show him off, I'm gonna take that same photo
Picture, look.
and be like, he's
Here
in
he
the
is,
whole
right? Like he was sitting on the side of the picture waiting to come in.
waiting
to come in. So I think, you know, talking about the honeymoon phase and everything feeling good, how do you not confuse lust, like being lustful over him, I really like him a lot, with actually being in love? Because sometimes people fall in love faster than they might have planned on, or faster than our timelines. How do you not confuse the two? Or is it impossible? I don't know.
I think lust have a lot of sexual tension with it.
Yes.
And love, because, you know, lust, she be like, man, like, I wonder, you find yourself in the middle of the conversation looking at his lips.
Yeah.
Kind of every time you know, licked them. Like, dang, them kisses probably nice.
Yeah.
And when it's love, you legit be like, you wouldn't even pay attention to him licking his lips because you actually tune in on what he's saying because you want to get to know him.
Right.
You are interested in what he's saying.
I like
And
that.
once again, that's for me. If I'm molesting, I know immediately because everything you do, I'm watching how you move. Now,
Yeah.
I'm not hearing
Exactly.
nothing you saying.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not
no.
paying attention to nothing. You
Nothing
right? Now that I
else.
think about it,
Yeah.
every time
no
I've been
words.
there,
Yeah, you hit. Yeah, I'm exact. Now that you said it, I think about it. I'm like, damn.
yeah. Whenever
You was
you
a
was
damn
lusty,
dummy the whole
yeah. When you
time,
was
and
lusty,
you
you
know.
was dumb. You weren't
Yeah.
paying attention to none of the fundamentals.
No.
This man's shoes dirty,
Right.
all kinds of stuff.
Right.
But you just thinking about the sexual aspect of what
Yeah.
you can do to him, this, that, and the third. But when you think about the love side, I goes to show I don't think I ever had love, you know. So it's really,
Hey.
But I mean, I think too that's just with the person. Like
Yeah.
you said, like when you meet a person, you know that's a love connection.
yeah.
And if it's a lust, like okay, I just want to rip my clothes off, and
Every
then
time.
like, and that's
I heard
okay.
a relation on the Red Table Talk recently. I think it's Yeti was his name, I believe, and he talked about when people says there's such thing as love at first sight, and he said no, because typically when you meet a person, he said it's something else the reason why you think you love them. He said either you're very physically attracted, or they're really spiritual, and that's where you're like, I really like how they move in the word, or it's somebody that has in a good mental space. I like the way they think. This
But
person
that's
is
not
really they're a
love.
hustler.
But
It says
that's
not
not
love.
love.
Get on
You-
my toes a little bit.
Yeah,
Not just
look.
right over there.
So they say, yeah. So they said, he said that you are really attracted to something about that person.
Yeah.
He said that's not love. You said so you are in tune with that, but he was like, love at first sight doesn't happen. You are attracted to something about the person, and we gotta pay
Now
attention.
that you say that, I can distinctly remember like with a person in my past, like being like, yo, I bet they'd be a great protector, provider. I'm thinking this love because I done narrowed down like what it is that makes me love them. Nah, that's lust too, because
Yeah,
that's a
that was
characteristic
lust. Yeah.
I found out
It's a
they didn't
character
even
trait.
have.
Yeah.
Because you're lusting after a characteristic.
What
It
you
may not
see.
be sexual.
Yeah.
But it's just
It
that
could be
one
something
aspect
else.
of that
Yeah.
person that you're just like,
The unknown,
Yeah.
the unknown, but you see on the outside looking in. You know,
Yeah.
you see a hustler, that business mentality. I like the way he think that money he making. You know, you looking at stuff like that, but you don't know this person, so you ultimately are lusting after them. And I think people have to look at it that way. Now, mind you, maybe somebody somewhere did have love at first sight. I don't know, but I liked his perspective of how, and it hope I think people, the listeners, to put things in perspective. If you meet somebody and immediately think that you really like them or in love with them, think about what's attracting you. A lot of times, initially, it's going to be the physical, but what else is it there that has you feeling that way?
Yeah.
Tap into that. If you think he is a hustler, find out, or entrepreneur. If you think they are a great spiritual leader, tap into it, because it may be what you think or it may not, but it's up to you to dig into it and find out. So I think that's a core piece of it. Now this goes a little bit, has nothing to do with love or lust. This goes back to the finances and something we talked about with the red flag. So how many dates, and this is just me being devil's advocate, how many dates do you all feel that you should go on with a man before you offer to pay for the date as the woman? You done moved back like look, making a lean back.
not me, sis. Not me.
I'm so guilty as charged.
Okay.
that when you really feeling somebody and you like, oh, like I want to spend time with this person. I know what my schedule look like. So I say guilty as charged, and I'm learning to when to like bring back that aggressive version of me.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I'm like, so being transparent. I was that person that's like, oh, I'm gonna make the money. And if my husband want to be a stay-at-home husband, he can be. Like, that's been my mindset from a little girl. Like, I'm going to build the table. And I ain't got to ask you what you bringing to the table because it don't
you going to do it all.
Yeah, like, I'm here.
Yeah.
So, you know.
You my hero.
And,
yeah, look.
Like I said, that used to be me. That was my thing. Like, I'm never going to be in a position where a man thinking he taking care of me. Like, I'm going to let it be known. Like, I got this.
Okay.
So... Sis, I need your answer on that because I recently, you know, I've been in a situation where I paid for the first date. Like, you know,
why?
Just
why did you pay for the first day?
These are learning experiences.
Okay, that's true.
learning.
So are you living, you learn. So tell me, what made you pay for it?
Well, originally because I really wanted to go out with that person.
Okay.
You know, they were in the initial conversation. It was, you know, like, oh, I don't have, you know, certain things, or you know, I don't know. So it's like, okay, well. How about we take all these uncertainties out the table?
Okay.
I'm going to cover the date.
Yeah.
All you got to do is show up.
Gotcha.
I mean, I'm not saying he didn't pay for nothing and he didn't do things.
I get what you're saying.
It's just
but you took the lead on that.
I took the lead. Like, that was me taking the lead. Like, I feel like if you invite somebody somewhere, that means you invite him to cover it. So I invited him to a place and said, I'm going to pay for that.
That makes sense.
He paid for drinks, other things. So it wasn't like it was probably one of more of those go Dutch situations.
Yeah.
But the initial finance piece, I was like, yo, this is covered. You just need to be there. So
I get it.
For me, that was if you can't be there and I'm telling you I'm paying for it, then
that would have been a red flag.
Right.
I think what comes into play with this is you have to pay attention to one, like on those first couple of days, where are you guys going? You know, if we just going to like a Chili's or a Fridays, most times it's only like $30 or so. Yeah. That's not a problem. You know, if our first couple of days are at like Ruth Chris, Fleming's, then that's a little bit different. You know, I might say like date number 5 is mine. But I think for me, I have to fill it out. Like I know like the first probably 5, like don't know. That's not an option. I don't know if I can put an exact number on it, but I would say somewhere between 5 and 10. I step in and pay for a date. But I'm going to make it a nice one. Like, I ain't going to take you to Fridays, you know. I might even, like, in my idea of a date, if I'm paying for it, I want to go do something probably anyway. Yeah. So I've been wanting to go to the batting cages for a minute anyway. So I'm kind of fulfilled. It's more so about me a little bit. Mm-hmm. So I might say, I'm going to take you here and I'm going to pay for whatever this is. And then if we go eat or whatever, like, I might pay for the drinks on the other side of it, gotcha, you know. Right. So, but I'll do that. Like, I've been out with guys and, like, if we stopped at, like, one bar and it was, like, $25, like, I just throw my card. Like, I'll pay for that. That's no problem. But official dates, I think that between 5 and 10, I could pick up one of them. But not before 5.
Making notes.
No. What do y'all think?
Well, for me, I'm not paying for no dates.
Okay.
Until
hey, man, look. They're trying to make me compromise.
No dates.
Not paying for shit.
I feel like, you know what? I'm a treat. I'm going to pay for it.
Happy birthday.
Right. Happy birthday. Yes. Yes. That's
I think I'm trying to be a little modest for the listeners. I might have a crush. Look, let me retract. That's what I wanted to say. I'm not paying for shit. Look, once a year, happy birthday.
Right.
Yo, birthday.
Right.
No. Nah, for real, that's really how I feel for the most part. I say 5 to 10, but I probably need to put a 0 behind that 5. So, but go ahead, Nicole. I feel your birthday. Like, I don't like it's necessary if your money right.
Yeah, exactly. Because maybe I'm just a little old school, and I feel like a man should treat the woman.
All
if
the
you
time.
like, let's go out on a date. Okay, well, I'm expecting for you to pay for it.
Oh, you absolutely. If you invite me, you're absolutely
paying for it. Yeah, you know. Even if
I say let's go.
Exactly. If I say you still gonna pay for it. Exactly.
The way to walk up.
I'll be like, card.
I know you're not looking at me.
Slide. Right. So I'm not paying on it until we get to what phase we hit? 2.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Look, I'm gonna say we gotta be in phase 3 for me to even pay for it. For us to be
exactly.
Committed. We had to talk committed.
I gotta be in another phase.
Yeah, because I'm not celebrating your birthday until phase 3 anyway.
Thank you.
No, I'm not.
Thank you.
Because if we just talking, you know, like, what if we not talking by the time my birthday come around? then what I'm gonna do?
Yeah.
So it's like, I think early on, that's another thing. We start celebrating and doing so much with milestones before we are committed to this person. And then we get upset when it's not reciprocated.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I've been guilty of that, talking to somebody a month in and trying to be a good catch. Your birthday coming, I'm gonna get you a gift. No, I'm never doing that again. Why? Why would I do that? We are not committed to one another. We like each other a lot. I'm gonna tell you happy birthday. That's your gift. So
Exactly.
that's it. This is it, like Michael Jackson. So what are you saying?
I know for me, I lean towards more what you were saying about if I say I want to do something.
Okay.
Hey, I want to go play mini golf, and I want us to go play mini golf. I'm paying for it because I know that if nobody plays, I'm playing.
Yeah.
So I'm ensuring that I'm going to play because I'm going to pay for it.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'll do that, but if you invite me anywhere, I'm not expecting to even look at a wallet.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's the courtesy of you're asking me to come, my presence is what you wanted. You didn't
Yes.
ask for my
Right.
pocket.
Yeah.
You know, so it's
I like that.
And the same thing in return. Like, if I ask for you to be there, I want you there for the experience. I didn't ask for your money. So
Yeah.
I'm start talking about it because then I'm asked for.
So what do you do if you get in a situation where you like whatever number they in and the check come and you know they walk up like, is it one or separate? He like separate.
First of all, if he responded, you better take it off. I'm sorry. On that, if he responded,
What do you
he's supposed
do?
to take it off. Because
Thank
the only
you.
person that should say separate should be me.
Me.
So I will,
Right.
once again, yes, I feel a little different about the pay for situation. But if the check comes to the table, if I say separate, cool. But if you respond, then your only response should be together unless you had that discussion beforehand.
Because if you say separate, we about to go our separate ways.
It's separate, cool. Bring them separate checks if you want.
Exactly.
And I'm out.
Because I need to know what changed. Like, hold on a second. So you invited me to dinner.
Yeah.
We sitting here. And you, because that at that point, that's, so we back to being friends.
Right.
Yeah.
We back at
Cool.
phase one.
Let me,
right.
cool.
Back in
let
phase
me know.
one.
Thank
Phase
you.
zero.
Done. Yeah.
Appreciate you for letting me know.
Yeah. Phase
We're
zero.
not
So
doing
yeah,
that.
I think you have to, you can make your own judgment. But ladies, don't go out here, lead and taking the lead. We live and we learn. I'm sure we've all done some things we didn't want to initially with paying for things. But now you don't got to open up your pockets if you don't want to. And if he sees that as a problem, then so be it. Move on. So I would say, what if you are dealing with a person and you feel like, you're not getting the same energy from that person, or they're not fulfilling some of your needs, but they're fulfilling some of your needs, but not all of them. How do you handle that
It depends
during
on,
this phase?
It depends on which needs.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends on
It
which
does.
needs. So, if we being modest and, sex is still on the table.
In this phase, it's probably not being honest.
I was about to say now.
Nah, it's
but
not.
Different strokes for different
Phase
folks.
2, we need to be at the
So
end of phase 2. Plus.
so we just say, if sex is off the table, it depends on what needs. Because
Yeah.
if you not meeting the big,
The
like,
basics.
if I'm having to literally, like, find other resources to meet needs, that the purpose of you being here is to help me meet those needs.
Yeah.
Once again, theme song, cut them off.
Yeah, cut them off. I had a friend that said that and we had a similar experience that when she got with her now husband, in the past she had moved to a lot of different cities, and every time she had to move, she was just so used to getting the movers, like hiring the movers herself, and it was like men in her life that wasn't taking that initiative. So when her now husband said, like, I'm gonna get the movers, she was really on edge, like not believing him. At the end of the day the movers showed up like they were supposed to. He did everything he said he was gonna do, but she was on just high alert because she had just dealt with so many people that just had not kept their word. So I think when it comes to needs, and I heard somebody else say this, that if you moving and you got a man, or this supposed to be your dude that y'all about to move to phase 3, why you gotta call your uncle or your daddy to come over and fix something for you?
Right.
Why you gotta call your friends to come do something for you? Your car break down. Why you can't call, unless if they at work, but I'm saying these are people who are available. You need a ride somewhere. Why you gotta call anybody else? Not saying that person's your end all be all, but it's just certain things that if we are moving towards being together, you have to show me if you are gonna be available, or if you're not available, you like, let me call my homeboy, he gonna come, or my sister coming, something, you trying to find resources for me as much as I'm trying to find them for myself, especially if I'm in a tight spot. And and that's a lot of times where the needs aren't being fulfilled, because many times it's something that we want and desire that we're asking for, and we keep asking for it because we're not getting it. And then we try to put that benefit of the doubt in there, and then we end up moving into a phase that we don't. We end up moving into phase 3 when we should have stopped right there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's one of those red flags, Or if I am in a tight spot, say financially, and I'm asking you for $20, and you like, What you need $20 for?
Right. Like, we both can't be over here.
Right, we both can't be struggling
Right.
with the $20, you know. So I think that comes down to, you're right, it is the different needs. But also at this phase, when we talk about the energy, if you start feeling like that energy is changing, what do you do? Like, do you address it? Do you let it go? Do you, what do y'all think?
I feel like with the time frame you put on phase 1, knowing that by the end of phase 2, we well over a year, your energy, we should know what consistent energy look like.
Yes.
Like when you having a bad day.
Yes.
So if the energy dropping, as in like clearly your interest has went somewhere else, address it.
Yeah.
We gonna address it.
You're gonna be direct.
Yeah, direct. What's up? I can tell you're
we're
right.
at that point in this in
Yeah.
this relationship with each other that we should be able to address changes directly.
Yes. And it's what you said. You know the different energy. I know a bad day energy off you ain't messing with me energy. You know, you got to address it head on. So what point at this phase of the relationship, we're very close to getting to where we're about to have the talk with the person. When do you whip out your non-negotiables list? You know, when you whip that list out, like, I need to talk to you about something. You know.
Like this.
Yeah, shake it out. A piece of paper. You got. Let me talk to you. When do you whip that list out?
Yeah, I'm guilty of sliding in early.
And to getting to know you.
Right,
You in
me
phase
too.
1.
I'm in phase 1 too.
Get to know these non-negotiables.
Yeah.
The non-negotiables was my pet peeves. They was disguised as the pet peeves.
Yeah, look.
So what really annoys me is,
Right.
So early on, you got to go over the non-negotiable. I agree, because we've talked about that. I think once you go on, like, I say even 3 dates, that's safe to know I'm probably going to hang out with this person again. Let's start talking about that stuff. So I say if you hadn't gone over the non-negotiables in phase 1, you definitely have to go over it in phase 2, because you cannot wait until the phase of the talk of phase 3, because once you all commit to being in a relationship, I'm not saying the person can't change and you all work on it, but you should already know, because the non-negotiables list is going to determine if you want to even go that far with the person. So that is the phase where that list, if you haven't already done it, should be in full review. Now, this is a question I have that I just want to know from you guys, and I really want the listeners to give me some feedback on. Do you think a person should be allowed in your home, or should you go to their home during this phase? So before you all become committed in a relationship, monogamous relationship, should you go to each other's houses? And you over here dancing, so I know you got to answer. What is your experience? So you can speak to that.
Yeah.
I know I've been guilty of doing it.
I've been guilty of it.
Yeah, I've been guilty.
have.
I've been guilty. I won't do. I don't think I would do it again though. Where I am now, like, I just don't want a person I'm not committed to in my home at this point. I think it's my most private and sacred space, and I just really feel like there are enough things for us to go out and do, free, not free, whatever the case may be. Ways for us to entertain one another, being out, that we don't have to come in the house, because ultimately, if I'm coming to your house, maybe you want to cook for me eventually. But other than that, what are we doing? Netflix and chilling. I like to Netflix and chill by myself right now anyway. So, and that's a whole nother probably episode I'm coming to terms with, about having other people in my space.
Yeah.
But I think we've all been guilty of. But now, if you all had to do it again, what would you do that differently?
Nah, because if I'm showing up to your house, or you showing up to my house, there's expectations. There's only so many things.
And a
you
lot
about
of
to do
people
with the
say that.
crib.
Yeah, look at that. Only so many things.
Also comes with that. I mean, let's be honest. Are you really inviting him to your house before dark or after dark?
True story.
That's true.
Most people eat dinner after dark.
Yeah, look.
Y'all, just being honest.
Yeah.
We learn from mistakes.
Yeah,
So, if you inviting me over, more than likely you're not inviting me over during the daytime to play no game.
Right.
You probably done hit me up with the, we can catch a movie, but we just saw a movie.
Yeah, at the real movies.
Right.
So what movie we going?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Or you should just slide by my house on the way home.
You
That's
could come
why we
outside.
pick theaters in the middle now.
Yeah, look.
So where you live? Okay, this the theater we gonna go to. You coming from the north?
From the south. Meet me at 100 Oaks.
Yes. Yep.
We in the middle. What
But I've done that before in the past, as far as not so much as inviting people to my home, but me going to theirs too soon. And I think if you do it too early, you are probably inviting yourself into their house and not knowing what you're going to walk yourself into.
Right.
That's when you learn, oh, he looks nice when we go out, but his bathroom dirty,
Like he been
fridge empty, shit everywhere.
washing cars with
He
his
look like the
towel.
6 kids that live up in his house is just him. Like that, soon for me to get to know that part of you.
One of your line sisters told me that.
I need
She
you
said
to clean up.
She went to a dude house, his towels look like he washed cars.
Tragic.
But again, it's like, that's no. We're not doing that. Like, I don't like people in my space now because it's like, if I open my door and let you in, you have access to a lot once you come into my house.
Yeah.
You know, that's my peace.
Yeah.
My place of peace. And so if I allow you into my peace, you better be bringing peace.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, don't come in here disturbing this. You know, I'm trusting that you won't steal from me.
Yeah.
You know, like
picking up stuff that don't belong.
Again, like when people don't think that far when it comes to letting just anybody in your house.
Right.
Like, I mean, there's some family members you can't let in your own damn house.
Exactly.
Say that.
And some people don't know how to leave. Like, you don't want to. I'm not going to figure out how to get you out. Like, I done said several times, I'm sleepy. Like, oh, no. Like,
yawning.
All of a sudden, you done moved in on me and you in my house too.
I'm tired.
No.
Did you make an overnight bed? What is that?
What is going
So,
on?
no, I've learned not to do that. So, like, my boyfriend didn't come to my house after we was together.
Look, you just set the bar. How did it go with your fiance? Did y'all come to each other's house?
We live and learn. We live and learn.
We live and learn. I think I came to his house. Yeah, I came to his house. He invited me over. But I'm one of those people who observes everything.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, okay, where's the doors?
Yeah.
What kind of lock is on this?
Right. Is an alarm in here?
Right, what's going on? Like, what can I grab? Is something just don't go
right.
Yeah, like,
yeah.
I'm one of those individuals. But he didn't come to my house till 4 months later.
Okay.
Yeah, came
That
to my
was
house.
good. She had a gap that way.
Yeah, but I will say that I have been successful in your situation where I went to a guy's house after dark and just watched a movie. So it can be done.
It can happen.
But I will say it has to be established up front.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is what's happening.
How long was the movie?
Did y'all watch Roots? Or did y'all watch?
It must have been in Power Watch.
Look,
They watched the episode of Power.
What movie was it we watched? Talladega Nights, maybe?
oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a funny movie.
He made a laugh.
So it was
Yeah, it's funny. You actually watching it.
Off of that.
So watch an actual movie that you will watch.
Right.
Like, don't put on
right.
some BS that you done seen 10
That
times.
will lead you over. You be like,
Yeah,
we
creeping
about to
over.
make another movie up here.
Yeah,
like,
so
what's going on? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't come over here for that. I
Yeah.
did, but no, I really.
Yeah, you know, like you have to. I think picking a movie that you actually gonna watch.
Right,
does
right.
help.
That's key. So key.
That absolutely helps. So what would you all say before you get to phase 3, which is where we talk about how long should you hang out with somebody before you have the talk of commitment? How long should you have been dealing with a person before you jump out the window? And I know everybody can say anywhere from 1 month, 3 months, 3 years, whatever. Y'all know where I'm at. It's going to be like 9 months to a year before I'm really trying to sign up to do life with somebody for real.
I think it depends on the person, depends on the vibe, the energy.
I can't trust my vibes, energy, or chemistry no more.
Without all that,
None of
so
it.
with all that being to the side, I think honestly with that it depends on goals. So
Okay.
where are we in life and where are we trying to be? Because at what point in those personal goals can we bring on another person?
Right?
Because when I start dating you, once again, date with intention. I ain't trying to be on that level for forever.
Right?
Your
right.
little friend is your mama gonna call
Yeah.
me? No.
Not trying to be your
Not
little
trying to
friend.
be your little
your
friend forever. No.
And I think it plays a role too also because I'm saying these timelines, but if I meet a man and he shows me, the things on my list, my non-negotiables, I don't see red flags, he's doing the stuff and lining up right, I might end up getting in a commitment in 6 to 9 months that I initially didn't think, but I met somebody who was of the quality and caliber of what I wanted, because right now my timelines are based off of my experience of not being able to get those things and being very cautious and wanting to move super slow. So I know that I want to move slow, but if I have somebody who comes in and inspires me and shows me to move a little bit faster, I may be so inclined to do so, but that person would have to show me literally everything that I want. And I say all this and also saying I can give them what they need. I know I've done the things to be prepared for a relationship. So that's a big thing I have too. I know, as they say, women, you are the catch. So if you know that you are the catch and you've done everything that you were supposed to do in your life to align for the man to come along, so I'm not going to shortchange myself just like I know he wouldn't want to. So I think the timeline can be shaken up a little bit. But if I had to go off of just me, I know like after that 9-month window, probably 9 months to a year, just because I'm on a real slow walk right now.
I know for me, like 10 years ago, almost 2 years before I got in a committed relationship.
So you were dating like this same person? And it was just y'all two just dating for 2 years. And so how did that talk go?
Very interesting, actually. And it should have, I think the fact that we let it go so long before we got in a relationship is what ultimately determined how the relationship went.
Because y'all took long to do everything, probably.
I think it took too long because both of us were undecisive about some certain things or didn't want to give up certain things to be in a committed relationship.
Right.
And so when we finally did it, the relationship itself was shorter than the time that it was before we actually got in it. So we only were together a year.
Right.
But we did that that whole dance for 2 years. And I was like, well, it's because we didn't spend the time doing the things we need to do to even realize if we did or did not truly need to be with each other.
Right.
And so never did that again.
Yeah.
But now, present day, like, it didn't take quite as long because I'm older, I've learned myself a lot more. So it's like it's easier for me to pick up on what is good for me that I'm inviting in versus not. And I have my bullshit meter is just out the window. Yeah. So it's like, no, next. It's really quick. So at this point, it's like it took for us to like for real being a committed relationship. I didn't even like initiate this, which was the first. Like wanting to have the talk.
Yeah.
And I think it was about 3 months.
And 3 months in what?
Before we were actually in a relationship.
Even after the talk? Okay. I'm like, what was the gap? What was that about?
It was 3 months from the time we met.
Oh, okay.
To when we actually became, I guess, in a committed relationship.
Oh, you moved real fast.
Yeah.
You moved like another culture.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
Believe me. But for me, it was like, it was quick for me because I've never done that before. But again, I'm at a different point. And so it's like, knowing what I do and do not want to give time to. And so I decided myself that it was worth me giving my time to this person.
Right.
Yeah. And so that's why I was okay, with us becoming a couple in such a short period of time.
Yeah, because you had been there, seen it, heard it, done it, got the t-shirt.
Over it.
I already knew.
Yeah.
So right now we are in phase 3, listeners, and this is the phase of when you have the talk to get into a monogamous and committed relationship. So what do you all feel? Let's all give at least one thing you feel should be said or should be a part of the talk. And I want to say what I feel is most important is just being direct to find out, are we going to make this official? And by official, I mean just you and I in a committed monogamous relationship. And I think that if your answer is anything other than yes, you need to run. Because if you get I don't know, we'll see, I ain't sure, then that's a red flag for me. So what do y'all think? I think that's my first thing. What should go into that conversation?
Wow.
Never thought of it that way.
I haven't either.
So I have a question, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So if one is truly talking to multiple people, and you get to that phase,
you should have faded those people out by now.
Okay, you say, because is that part of the talk? Like, you got to tell them how long they got to cut of the phone?
I think that in phase 2. So that's what you use phase 2 for. We talked about that dating, communicating. Phase 2 is really the time for you to start fading those other people out.
Okay.
You got to fade them out. So by the time you fade them out, your roster is clean.
Okay.
And you reach phase 3. So think about, when you had the talk, what did it consist of? In any talks y'all have had, what did it consist of?
We absolutely always talked about what our goals were individually, and then what our goals were with whomever we wanted to be with.
Okay.
And that's stuff that it started from the beginning. Every talk that we had, bits and pieces of what the ultimate talk is, fed into that.
Okay.
And so we talked about, were we aligned and where are we trying to go? Do we have the same mindset? Because you can be with a person and you like certain things, but your mindset is not on the same level.
Right.
As far as like being able to handle certain conversations or situations in life. And so we've had those type of conversations. And it's basically, for me, the talk had to consist of, can I trust you to, one, respect what I have to say and what I want to do, because that's what you're going to get in return. And 2, this should be a safe space between the two of us. So we should be able to want to grow and make mistakes and, bring our insecurities to each other and have that whole realm of space to be able to work it out with each other without being judged.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to explain that to him, and he the same to me, because we both been through shit.
Yeah.
You go through shit, and
right.
that's what holds you back from getting to the talk.
Right.
So it's like I had to say, well, this is where I've been. This is not where I'm going again.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So are you cool with that?
Yeah.
Are you on board with that? And that when I get to that point, I'm very direct in what it is that I want.
Yeah.
And what it is that I don't want. And it's either yes or no. There is no gray area. So if you say yes, you're telling me that I'm allowed to trust that you're abiding by whatever it is that we set in a relationship.
Right.
But if you don't, or you don't know, then that's where we would have been.
Right.
And so we honestly had to have an understanding of each other, that we both had those qualities and those same aspects of life that we were looking for from another person.
Yeah, and desire.
And we wanted to move forward and grow with each other
together on the same wavelength.
Because we both understood that we're both growing right now.
Yeah.
And so we want to grow with each other. Like, I'm willing to do that with that person.
Yeah, you have. Yeah, and that makes sense. Be willing to do those things with that person. So what if you have the talk and he does not want to commit? And I'm going to say he, fellas, because a lot of times it's y'all. Do you leave or do you stay? Everybody give you a unpopular or popular opinion.
You gotta leave.
Okay.
Yeah, because what else is there for you to talk about?
Yeah, because what you want is not there.
Right. So you gonna be upset because you've invested time.
True.
Yeah.
You you done got to this phase and you're thinking, okay, we gonna do this, but which ultimately goes back to the communication.
Because you probably wouldn't even get here.
Right. And the red flags, because I think a lot of times there are red flags that we just don't want to catch or see.
Or acknowledge.
Right. Like they've been there.
Yeah.
And really it shouldn't be a surprise.
Yeah.
But it does catch you
off guard. But it's like we talked about when you have the conversation when you're dating and what you start to talk about the future. Right. And every time you bring up the future, he never really says anything. Or he's like, I don't want to talk about that right now. Yeah. I don't deal with that too much. If a man ever says to me, I don't want to talk about that right now, you will never talk about it to you will never again. Mm-hmm. It is a done conversation. Mm-hmm. We're done because I see how you move.
Right.
And it's red flags like that you're right. We tend to ignore, but I think if we pay attention to them in phase 2, you won't get to the talk with somebody that's not on board with you. Unless they're just a sociopath. And, at that point.
But you also have to look at the terminology a person uses when they do talk about the future.
Okay, so.
So they may say, when I find. Mm-hmm. And y'all are right here. We here.
Yeah.
But when you find your wife. Like, God damn.
That I think that's even worse.
Why the hell am I here?
Yeah. Look around.
That's a real conversation
I've
heard people have. Is like, oh, well, when I find my wife,
she got a girlfriend?
I'm looking at your whole girlfriend right now. And people don't catch that. Like, she probably didn't even catch
called
it.
She called it.
She called it.
She called it. He playing.
He playing. Or he'll come around type mentality. No, it's like he's intentional in the words that he's using.
Yeah.
And all men are. Like, they're going to say what it is they believe.
Exactly.
So if they're not even including you in the minute conversation you may have about the future.
Yeah.
Or some trip he wants to go to. If he's not saying
including you in his life, because people, the thing is, don't get caught up too much on speaking hypothetically. What is he doing?
Yeah.
What he's doing to include you in things that are happening now. And if he's talking about the future, talking about something substantial. Absolutely. Like, don't talk to me about, when I win the lottery or when this I'm doing to my wife. No. Talk about, like you said, if you planning a vacation for 6 months from now, is he including you in that? Because he sees you being there?
Right.
Is he including you like it's February, Thanksgiving, like, I want you to come Thanksgiving, but again, don't get too caught up in some things because a person can be kind of delusional. Like, it's date number 2 and they already talking about Thanksgiving, bro.
Right.
No.
If they in phase 1, they doing that run because they crazy.
Yeah.
And phase 2, it should be like a little bit halfway or more through that before that comes up. But you're right. Pay attention to the verbiage and the words that they are using, because that way it'll prevent you from being in a situation where you gotta leave when you have the talk and it's not favorable. So after you have the talk, say you have the talk, it works in your favor. You and your boo are now together, officially a couple. Okay. What are some things that you think should like shift and change or happen? Like, and how important is it to you? I think one of the first things is at that point, it is okay to start having sex and having sleepovers. I give it the green light. I call it sleepovers. You know, so having sleepovers, we'll leave it at that. I think that's one thing. And you already just tell me what you think about this. I think meeting family and friends.
Yeah, that's the top of my list on that one. The family and friends. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Even though I come from a family that, you know, I probably can bring somebody around within the first 3 days. My family gonna be like, welcome to the family. You know, they don't really care. You know, so, but I think it is important, like, for me to be introducing them if you are gonna be around my people.
Right.
What about traveling together? Do you think that should take place before then, or, you know? I mean, like, traveling like a real vacation, not like we go to Chattanooga.
Oh, okay. In that case.
Nah, like, even like just going, like, y'all going to the Bahamas, Jamaica, just somewhere.
That counts as a sleepover because
it's definitely
booking 2 rooms.
Yeah, it's a sleepover. Okay, so it goes together. And people always say when you travel with somebody, you will kind of get to see how they operate, how they act. Because you may run into flight delays, issues at the resort, whatever. So you get to see another side of them. So that should be after the talk. When do you, if it's important to you, do you go public on social media, or does that not matter to you?
Doesn't matter to me.
That does not matter to me.
Yeah, these two people definitely don't care.
No.
I'm at the phase now where I think social media doesn't mean what it used to mean to me. Because I honestly realize social media, whether you find it on there or not, don't change how a person gonna act if that's how they act.
It does not.
Yep.
I agree. And I saw something when I had put the poll on my Instagram about Cassie recently, and I was asking, I posted on there, do you want this kind of love out loud? Because Cassie's now boyfriend, he put like a love letter to her and love letter to her daughter. And I said, with that, it's great he said it, but I would want my spouse to say that to me. Don't put that online. Like, write me a love letter. And if I decide to post it, fine. But don't write the love letter to the world. You know, it's not as special anymore. So I think that I'm a person right now, I don't really care much about going public on social media. I think when or if that time comes, if I was with the person who wanted to live like that, I think about it. But
I mean, plus it doesn't validate our relationship.
It just lets people get more in your life and
so now everybody's going to be asking questions.
And then when
you're going through hell right now, and all of a sudden, so how are you guys doing?
And then we break up, I got to delete you and all
that.
Or when you break up, how you know these days, a lot of times how people broke up, you go on their page, see, he gone, she gone.
I know.
If they post, you go through it.
Or they on a break.
Yeah, you know, it's over with. It's over with.
Yep.
So at what point after the talk, you know, is this the phase where you start planning life together? I mean, seriously talking about marriage. How did you go, with you being engaged, how did that go after y'all got official? Did y'all start immediately like talking about marriage, or how did that go?
I remember having the conversation about marriage. I think at that point we might have been 3 years in.
Okay.
By then. So I was like, okay, we obviously gonna move in this marriage direction, right?
Right.
But we not. We need to have a conversation about that.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked about it, and I want to say a year or so later, he proposed.
Okay.
And so it just kind of happened that way. He had talked to his parents about it, and his mother had given her a blessing. He talked to my mom about it. She gave her a blessing. So it's just one of those situations where I had no clue. Like, a lot of times you like, are you even listening to me when I'm talking to you? 'Cause you know how men be. You be like, are you even listening to me? And so apparently he was, and so it just kind of worked out that way.
So you thought like he wasn't even into
No, because a lot of times you'd be surprised when you talk to men. You'd be like, I just told you this shit the other day.
Yeah.
Why am I going to repeat myself again to you? Like,
I'm talking about reading my mind when I gave you the blueprint.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? So the fact that he was listening says something.
Yeah. And you all went through the phases. It's almost like if it's not the ESPN sports ticker, men not.
Right. Because, if it ain't numbers.
Yeah.
They
not.
Don't. Yeah.
It's going right past them.
You gotta play that dun
yeah,
in the background for them to be like.
Then they'll tune. Oh, what you say?
Yeah,
you
right.
Ring?
Oh, okay.
All right, I heard you. Look.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do.
So how do you handle it, ladies, in your experience when a person is in this phase? You've had to talk in a relationship, and you know, the honeymoon phase wears off, and the infatuation wears off, and you like each other, you still like each other, but you ain't just lusting after him like you were once upon a time. And I think it's waves of the relationship. Yeah. That comes in waves. How do you handle it? How do you get the spice back? Do you just let it be and think it's going to just come back on its own? Do you address it? Like, what do you do?
So I think at this point, in all honesty, is where you get that piece of relationships are work. They're not supposed to be all, rainbows and candy.
Yep.
This is that part where you find out, like, so what do we look like in the working phase? Like, what do we look like when we having them days where we really don't like each other?
Yeah.
Because this gonna show us how we gonna show up in marriage. It's gonna show us how we show up in the next phase, because we still not living together or nothing. So I honestly can be away from you as long as I want to.
Mm-hmm.
So if I choose to do that and not show up to work through whatever we going through, or whatever this feeling of like uncertainty is, that's showing what I need to move on. Like, or once again, it's gonna hurt because we done invest a lot of time, but I gotta walk away.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that. I like that perspective. And I think everybody has to be a little bit honest when it comes to that. Yeah. To know if you're gonna put in the work or you're not. Today's Living Single question is it okay to shoot my shot first as a lady coming to a man in 2019? What I'll say to that is really, it's different strokes for different folks, and you have to do what's best for you. However, if you're a woman of the same quality that you are looking for in a man and equally yoked with the types of guys that you prefer, why are you having to do the shooting of the shot in the first place and the brothers aren't lining up to come to you? I really think that good things do come to those who wait. And if you're patient, present yourself as your best self at all times, and are in a position to meet the guys that you desire, they will come to you. So don't shoot your shot in an effort to rush love or the dating scene or getting a husband or whatever reason you want to put behind that. You know, you may need to chill so they can come to you, or you may need to check yourself to see why they aren't coming to you. So continue to send in your Living Single questions to my DM or Messenger on Facebook or Instagram, and we'll be back answering new questions every week. All right, so this brings us to phase 4, and this phase is, we call it different strokes for different folks. At this point, you are in a monogamous, committed relationship that you should have talked about and confirmed with your partner, meaning that you are not in a relationship by yourself, telling people that's my boo, and he or she is saying something else. But when it comes to this phase, it's kind of like maintenance, and this is where you, before marriage, so it was like that phase in between. So I'm going to go through a few scenarios to get what we feel the timelines should look like for some of these things. So moving in, ladies and gentlemen, how long after being in a committed relationship should people do this? Or not at all? Should you wait till marriage?
Never again.
Okay.
Never
done that.
again. Never
So tell us
again.
about it. What was your experience?
Because the experience is that once you move in with a person, y'all both have to compromise some of that independence.
Absolutely.
Who gonna pay what bills?
Yeah.
Like if we split it down the middle. Also that factor of now my friends either become your friends, or we got to talk about like, okay, so on this day so and so coming over, like either this fixing to not become a thing we all do together, or is it gonna be I gotta ask you to leave, you know, which is why I responded to your poll when you gave it, like how we gonna leave? You know, so you're functioning on the level of a married couple without the title.
Pretty much.
You getting milk now for free.
Yeah.
And I can't really control the amount of milk you getting because we're living under the same roof.
Right.
So it's like, okay, it's dishes in the sink. I know we said I wasn't gonna be catering to you, but I need some clean dishes to eat off.
Right. So now I'm here washing these dishes that I didn't plan on washing.
Right.
That your ass done ate off of.
Yeah. Or you hungry. I can't just cook for me. Like,
Yep.
hey, you ready to eat? You know, it's Sunday at the church. Is that not gonna be family day?
Yep.
We live together. It might as well be. So,
It has to be something.
You know. So I feel like moving in forces other pieces of the relationship. You don't even get to talk about them anymore. It's automatic.
Yeah.
Like now we living together, so this has to happen. It's just the instance of how is it going to happen.
You are right.
And I don't want to give up my independence on that level ever again. To it may not work out because once again, you ain't said I do, and even I do comes with divorce sometimes. So
Yeah,
That's very true.
I mean, I don't want, you know, that's a lot. You got to give up. Sometimes you got to give up people because once again, now we've established friendships and other things because we share common space.
Yeah.
When you leave, do I cut them off or do I keep them?
Yeah.
More than likely, depending on how it ends, they getting cut off too. So now I'm losing, I'm losing people on top of losing you. Like,
Yeah, you're
so,
right.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
My take.
I think that's one of those decisions for me that you have to talk about those things before we even decide to sign a lease or whatever the venue is together, because it's like, how do we intend to operate in this home together? Because some people are like, oh, we're just trying to save money.
And that's a terrible reason to move
That's
out.
an awful reason.
Because
to
you
do that.
losing emotions while you
Exactly.
saving money.
You losing a lot more.
And you know, like in doing that, it's like, okay, but then what if somebody fall on hard times?
Yeah.
Now you in a whole relationship. It's not a roommate.
Yeah.
It's your man.
Yeah.
So
Right.
if he lose his job,
You gotta pick
guess
up the
who gotta
pieces.
pick up the slack? You know, and is that gonna determine how your relationship functions? Or what if y'all in a lease can't get out of it? Nobody wants to break it, but y'all broke up. Now y'all still under the same roof together.
Yeah.
So it's like these are the type of things like people have to really think about the what ifs or what they're willing to do if this should happen. Because right now, I'm not looking to move in with him.
Yeah.
I like things like that to happen as we move through whatever the phases are in a
Right,
relationship.
right.
And then if we have we talked about it at some point, but there's not some, we need to move in together. by
Right.
this
It's
point.
not that sense of
Or
urgency.
we're trying to hurry up and move in together. No, I'm not there. I'm cool.
And I think a lot of times it's either that kind of control sometimes, or it's that financial situation, or like you said, I moved in with people in the past when I definitely should not have. And you do lose your sense of independence, because I think of right now, I can come and go as I please in my house. I don't have to answer to anybody. If I all of a sudden move somebody in my house now, if I stumble in at 4 a.m., you looking at me crazy, just like I'll be looking at you. But if we're together and I'm doing it on my own, you have no clue that's what's going on. I might call you, but it's still different than coming in and out of the house. And then your friends, my friends, we got to navigate a certain way. And I did it before.
Your family too.
Yeah, your family come. You know, I done all that. When the first time I moved in with somebody, I didn't care nothing about what he said. So it was a terrible situation. I did everything I wanted to do. That's why I ain't work no way. So it was like he was there, but I still did everything I wanted to do, just like he wasn't. So I'm like, I wouldn't do that again. And then I allowed someone to move in with me. And of course, it was another bad decision because we hadn't gone through these phases. I didn't know what I was dealing with. Ended up being a nightmare. And then the compromising situation, I dealt with the guy that we were together, but we just spent a lot of time at each other's apartments, but that was fine because we always could go home to our own space. So it was like we never even talked about moving in because we understood, like, I like having my house, you like having yours, you know, but taking this real slow. And I think that's ideal. I think it's nothing wrong with that when you are in a relationship. If you spend a lot of time in each other's spaces, because you still got your own stuff to go back to. Yeah,
I think that's so important because that was my plan for when we got engaged was to live in the same city. I had my own place. He would have his own place with the intent of working together to get one roof to live under. But for y'all that know me, you know, that didn't quite go that way because I got a little girl that came a little bit before. So she kind of threw a little mix in the plan. So we ended up moving in together anyways. And so now we're having to learn one another. Plus have a baby. And all at the same time.
How is that?
Well, let's see.
Is it chaos?
Yes, let's see. She's 2, about to be 3. We're finally at a place where we have a good balance.
Okay.
Like we know each other. We know who's responsible for what. If someone comes over, we communicate with each other. So it's not like I come downstairs, I'd be like, well, damn. Why did you tell me such stuff came over here and then y'all up here drinking liquor? Like, what? So, I mean, we've gotten to the place where we're able to communicate. And because it wasn't like, it was a struggle. For sure.
I'm sure. To merge all of that at the same time. It's enough if you merge just you and one other person, but to bring a child into it, different schedules, lifestyles, I can imagine. What really helped you guys to like get on one accord with making it all to come together? Was just a lot of communicating, trial and error? Like what was it?
It really was. It was a lot of me having to be creative because unfortunately men don't really think.
We've heard that a lot.
You know what I'm saying?
We've
like
heard
they
that on
don't
this podcast
really
a lot.
think things through. So you have to kind of give them a roadmap of, okay, this is what I need you to do. And once you tell them and they know, then it works out
kind of maneuver that way.
So I had to come up with a blueprint, continuous conversations talking about it. And then it eventually just worked itself out. And then with my daughter being able to talk, she could add her 2 cents in there too. So he'd be like, well, damn, like, I got you talking to me. Now I got this little person talking to me. Like, okay, let me just get it together.
Was he receptive to all of it? Like, was it a struggle for him at any point?
It was, because he too came from his own independence. So him being able to come in his own house, lay around, do whatever he wanted to do. Now you got another like he has to adjust as well.
Yeah.
So it was a struggle for him. Plus he relocated from another city.
Yeah. So he can adjust to the city.
Right. Like,
you know.
Like that wasn't in the plans either.
Yeah.
So I'm having to adjust to a whole new city, my fiance, a baby, and my job, my business is expanding, so I'm having to deal with that. Plus, if there was any family issues going on, so it was a lot for him too. So you have to be able to be patient with one another,
right,
and be able to communicate, most effectively. So that's what worked for us. But please don't follow listeners in my direction. You know, you get engaged, live your separate spaces, and then come together.
So did you all want to originally like move in together? You said like after the marriage or right before?
So after.
Okay.
So we were going to live separately, plan the wedding, and then eventually we were going to get a house together. Because he already had a house. So he was going to sell his house. We were going to use that money for another house on a down payment. Yeah. And just, not white picket fence, but, a straight little house, something like that. Yeah. But, sometimes
God's got a different plan.
Right.
When God got a different plan, you got to go with it. But I think moving in is up to different individuals. But I'm with you. I am not moving in with anybody prior to... I've heard people sometimes say engagements move in so you can kind of get a feel for one another. I think that... I don't know if right away, but I say if most times weddings sometimes are like a year out, maybe like 6 months or so. Kind of plan it out to see when we want to do it. I know I wouldn't want to be moving like right as soon as I get married. Like when I come back from my honeymoon, now we moving. Nobody wants to do that, so it could be like right before, right after. But either way, I know in that phase, at that point, once you engage, y'all at each other's houses so much. It's like you live in two places, so it's really up to the person. But I just don't recommend to move in prior to having a ring or having some kind of serious commitment, because ultimately everybody's goal is not marriage. Some people are just wanting a serious partnership, and that's perfectly fine. So I would say moving in without that is just like a recipe for disaster to some extent.
And once again, engagements are a form of learning.
This
so
is
just
true.
because we moved in and we're engaged, that engagement can still end.
Exactly.
Because you can learn stuff about that person during the engagement while y'all living together. That's like, oh, happy I found out before we had to pay for a divorce.
Yeah,
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
There's many of times.
So true.
Many of times.
So Nicole, how long have you been engaged?
4 years.
So Nicole has a long engagement.
Yeah, a long engagement.
So what do you think? What do you tell people about that? Like, I know that's different for you. Everybody's different. How does your fiance feel about that?
I mean, he didn't necessarily have a problem. Well, he has mentioned about, like, when we gonna get married? Like, you want to talk about this now? So,
what a man move.
Like, you want to talk about this now? So I guess when I initially got engaged, I was excited to plan, but I'm not a planner. Like, that whole wedding thing gives me a lot of anxiety. I was like, okay, I just hired somebody, check in, whatever. But once I had Gabby and went through all of that, that just kind of took a back seat. Yeah. Because, like I said, being a new mother, a baby, going through changes with myself, and then him not being as involved as I would have liked for him to be. Because, men are different individuals when a baby is around, and it's a little person. They think there's, like, they can break them. Yeah. So you're, like, having to kind of coach them through, and then you try and deal with yourself and a baby. It's just, some things just fall to the back burner. Yeah. And that's just one of the situations that happen. But now that we're in a better place, now we're ready to start planning and taking that phase to getting married. Right, so, right. I mean, our story was a lot different, but ultimately we will get to that
the finish
place.
line.
It's just a lot of
life
work.
Events.
Yeah,
you had a lot of life events that came about, and it makes sense that you prioritize yourself and the baby and your family over saying, I got to do this marriage right now. Yeah. And doing it and not being happy. You want to enjoy planning your wedding. Exactly. You want to enjoy the marriage. You want to enjoy all those things. So to just try to rush it doesn't make sense. So that's very valid. And
I'll say too, don't let outside people influence you or push you to y'all need to go ahead and get married. You're not in this household. No. You do not know what's going on. I'm not about to rush because you think I should be rushing to get married. Right. Yeah. So
people have their own motives.
Yes. I'm be like, please, if anything, you hear from me, do not let outsiders encourage you or push you in a direction that you know you're not ready for.
Because they have nothing to lose.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly.
So.
And I think it's a great point too to say that this whole timeline or time frame we've been talking about could be accelerating at a pace that seems like it's getting faster as you get to the next phase, or maybe it's going at a constant space. But before you say I do, if it needs to slow down, slow the whole train down.
Slow it down.
Because you still can. There's no
timeline. It's what you two want to do.
Yeah.
I had a friend girl like that had got engaged and whatever had happened in their relationship, I'm not even sure, but they stayed together, but they just decided to wait to get married. It was so many questions. And I was like, girl, you don't have to answer to no.
Right.
You don't even have to tell me. You know, I'll just make sure I ain't missed the invite in the mail. That's the only reason I asked. I swear I was like, I don't want to miss this RSVP because I know it was coming up. And she told me, I'm like, all right, cool. You know, y'all do or don't. I'm not under your roof. I don't know what's going on. And I know when it comes to relationships, they are a delicate thing. And only those two people are the ones that can handle them. So since we are talking about engagements, because this is something you always hear in society, opinions, how long do you all think is too long if marriage is the goal, to stay in a relationship without a ring? Cause you know everybody got something to say about this.
Yeah,
He like be out here like I can't even think of a celebrity couple right now. You know, but people be out here. Yeah, look, but Oprah don't want to get married.
Oprah don't want to get married.
Oprah don't want to get married. She ain't got marriage goals. What do you all think if you had to personally pick for your own experience? How would you say it's too long for you and your partner if you know, since you do want to be married, and you would be like, nah, this is too. We done went too far, brother.
Honestly, I be straddling the fence. Some days I be like, I don't know about the whole marriage thing. You know,
scary.
like, it's not even about it being scary. It's just because the word itself, people place so much weight on that word and thinking that it's a label and not what you're doing every day. It's not something you're building every day. And so I say, a long-term commitment to each other.
Okay.
You know, but as far as for us, I think it's not a specific time frame for us. I think it has to do with where we are together.
Right.
Where we are moving together as far as like our growth in this point in life. Can we handle knowing that marriage or a long-term commitment comes with a lot of responsibility?
Right.
Because your relationships come with responsibility, but nothing more like marriage. We're committed to each other to work through all this. We can't just be, I mean, you can because divorce is crazy, but you can't say at one day, man, fuck it, I don't want to do this shit no more, and walk out. And that's the end of it. No, because that's not how it goes. Because we decided that we're going to go through these hard times together and work through them. And so for me, it's like, it takes a lot of, I think it takes time to get there. Yeah. We could decide to get engaged next month if we want to, but that don't mean I'm about to get married in the next 3 years. You know? Because again, I still need to learn you at that phase of engagement. And so I never thought about a timeline. And I thought it was always, for me, I thought it was so weird when people did have that timeline. Like, but I met
when they would say, like, if he don't ask me to marry him in 3 years, I'm out, you know.
And I never, and I've never had, you know, and I've never had that, you know, that thought in my mind. Like, I used to be like, oh yeah, I do want to be married one day. But I never knew when.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and then now I'm in my 30s and I'm like, I'm still not married and I'm not mad about it because I mean I could have been married to somebody I shouldn't have been with in the first place. So it's like, you know, I don't have a timeline on it, even though, you know, the family be trying to interject.
Society tries to say
try my whole person with that hope. So when y'all we good.
Right.
We are. Right. We good. Let's stay that way. Let's stay good.
You gotta flip it around and ask them, when you getting me?
When you having a kid. You know, all that type of stuff. So it's like I don't have a timeline. I think that only you and that person know where you are. Even if you know that your relationship is built for marriage. Because everybody's relationship isn't. And so you all have to develop and determine that amongst yourselves. Not one person in that relationship can't determine that.
I agree. What do you think?
Based on past experiences, I think I don't have a timeline like she said.
Okay.
It depends on where we are. I know things I want to discuss before then.
Okay.
I know I want to be, not only because I know the importance of it or the fact that I even work in that realm, but the fact that I want pre-engagement counseling and premarital counseling.
They say you should go to counseling before you even get engaged because by then it's a lot of times it's too late. And I used to think it was crazy when I heard people that were boyfriend, girlfriend going to counseling. I'm like, why are you doing that? They're like, you should.
We need to know how we working on this emotion. How do we discuss our emotions? Because that's my need. If you can't help me meet my emotional needs, I can't because the things I do on a regular basis require me to be able to emotionally recharge. I do that by myself.
Right.
So if you coming into my space, if you're going to be there, you have to be able to sit with me in that time I need to be alone. Yeah. If you can't handle that, you can't help me build, because I need that time to continue building what I'm building. Right. So those are the checkpoints. So it's not even a time frame, but I do know if we've made it through all of those blocks, hopefully the engagement period is literally just us wrapping up those loose ends.
Yeah, I like that.
Because I wanted to be that person. Like, I don't want a big wedding. I've seen weddings be the reason people almost not get married.
Right. We've been divorced for 5 years.
Yeah. So I'm with the let's go to the courthouse, and then our families find out, hey, his plane tickets, because we doing it like his plane tickets. We're gonna have the ceremony. Yeah. You know, but please understand, we're already married. Yeah. So this is us telling you, congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. We
we
so
give y'all the announcement.
You know, kind of like that. So the time frame of the understanding, marriage is something. It's not just a label, it's a commitment.
Yeah, right.
If we've worked through all these phases to get there, we should be able to work through whatever is going to happen after the marriage, hopefully. Other than the new phases that get added on. Right. But in that time frame, somebody family member done died.
Right? Yeah.
Maybe, you know, we taking care of nieces and nephews, so we experience what it's like kind of to have a little one with us. Yeah. Financially, one of us probably done hit a hard time and see how the other one's going to respond if we need to lean on them a little. Like, those big things have happened in pieces with us not having to be each other's, like, wing. Right. So when we have to be, we know how we're going to respond.
Right. I agree. I like that. And I agree with both of you guys. So this leads me to another question when it comes to being in the phase 4 of sharing things. What do you guys think about this? And I work in finance, so I'm a little bit different when it comes to money, so I'm going to hold my opinion until the end. But what do you all think about, like, sharing, like, bank accounts and, you know, borrowing money, stuff like that? Should you be doing stuff like that before you marry? Look at her shake her head with a slow no. Slow no. What you got to say, Nicole?
Teach us.
I mean, so I was raised by my grandfather, and he was very strict about money, saving money, don't be borrowing, loaning out money, things like that. And so, unfortunately, in my household, I didn't see a husband and a wife. Yeah. So it was just my mom. So she was the one that was handling the finances. Yeah. So really not knowing how the whole sharing thing is supposed to play out, I'm still learning. Okay. But personally, I'm like, I don't want to mix my money with you, because you might have something going on that I just ain't found out about yet. Yeah. And I promise you, if somebody comes in and garnishes or takes something, or you go in there and see all this money, you be like, oh, let me go out and buy such and such. Yeah. It's going to be a problem. Right. Because you need to discuss that with me, because that's not just all your money. Right. Just because we may be married or one does not mean you can go in there and just be like, oh, well, let me just take out $500.
No.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Excuse me.
Yeah, what's going on? Just got an alert.
Right. What
did our account get hacked?
Did something happen? Did your car break down?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that's my thing. I'm still learning about the whole sharing thing, but at the moment, no, I'm gonna need for you to keep your account. I'll keep mine. We can decide who pays for what, and we'll leave it that way.
Yeah. I think because I do work in banking, that I recommend to no one to ever put your name on an account with another person prior to being married, because it's a matter of who can get to the bank first. Exactly. To take your money out. And Judge Judy always says that doesn't make you in a relationship. That doesn't make you any stronger, your bond any better, because you got a bank account with your name on it with another person. So I'm not a fan of that, and I'm not a fan of just loaning out money for insignificant reasons. You know, I was raised, my grandfather taught me a lot about money as well, and finances, and my grandmother. And it's nothing to be played with. You know, it's the number one reason for divorce.
Exactly. Yes.
You know? Yeah. So tell us about that. What you know, your field. You see what you see.
Yeah. Money is the number one reason a lot of people cannot get it together. That's either the reason why after premarital counseling they realize in the communication phase, oh, when it came to finances, we don't move the same. Yeah. This ain't gonna work. And even in Dave Ramsey's course, you learn a lot about what he says, who's the saver and who's the spender. Yeah. And if the saver is also the person that you can't communicate with, you as a spender gonna have a problem.
If you the spender, you can't communicate.
Yeah, like y'all gonna have an issue. And also that piece of I don't know how I necessarily feel about even after marriage putting all in one pot. Like,
I definitely think you should have a pot, but also got your separate pot.
Separate,
so
yes.
maybe it's like an allowance. Like, babe, we gonna put this here together because this is what we saving for together.
Or for bills.
Because, for instance, I don't want to have to ask you for an allowance to go shopping.
When I go to work
When
every day.
Yeah.
I like the idea, and I've heard people say, like, you have account that bills come out of, and then maybe you have a couple savings, but then you also have your own checking and savings as well. Like, your savings, if you saving up for something, but your checking account for your own money, not even allowance. Like, I work for this, it's mine, you know. So I think you have to keep it like separate but equal.
Yeah, that part.
But what is the issue when it comes to like people? I know money being the number one factor in divorce. Is it just because you have people who have never managed money? People are out here blowing money.
It has to do with FOO. So FOO is what we call it in the counseling realm, but it's family of origin. Money's one of those things. You learn how to operate with money through what was modeled to you from your families, what your family taught you. Just like a lot of people, it's communication. Well, communication when we're dating and stuff, I can kind of pick up on what you do and we can learn from there. We don't sit down in relationships and have financial conversations like that, though, where if somebody doesn't truly know how to handle money, they can learn from how you handle money, how to handle it. One, you probably ain't having that conversation in your relationship where you just putting all your business out there. People so here's how much I make, here's how you break your check down, here's how you zero it out. And how is that other person really, when are they feeling comfortable enough with you to actually say, hey, babe, you should probably know I'm not financially responsible. I hope that don't make you run away. But can we sit down and you like, what's the resources you want to give me to help me understand how do I get there?
How many people gonna be brave enough to do that?
Because how many people we know, male or female, they're in a relationship with somebody who they think is better off than them or is functioning better than them, will they really sit down without ego and pride and say, hey, you obviously doing this right, who can you send me to so that I can get there too?
And it's not a lot of people gonna do it. You said without ego and pride.
Without ego and pride.
Because those two right there, that's what messes up a lot of stuff.
And a lot of people don't want to be that vulnerable. Like, to admit that I can't manage money is admit I'm a failure at something. And a lot of people don't want to get to that point, even in a marriage. And so that's why, a lot of people don't make it because of finances. We are not growing at the same rate. We don't value saving for the what ifs at the same time. Some people be like, well, you only got one life. You can't take that money with you mentality. So they spend everything they get. And the other is like, well, what if both of us lose our damn jobs?
Right.
How are we gonna live? So it's like those don't marry up, then that's where you start developing problems. For me, I will admit, I have a coworker. Her and her husband never got joint accounts. They live roommate style. Everything's split down the middle. She got her account, he got his. When it comes to the bills, everything is 50-50. And I always looked at her weird when she first said that to me. I was like, who doing that? Y'all been married for years too. Like, got 3 kids.
And it's working for them.
And it works.
Right.
And that for them allows, sometimes she said it did come with a small price because she got to a point where she was making most of the money. So bills weren't a problem for her, but sometimes it would be a struggle for him. But for her, it feels like, we don't feel like one person is holding the other person back when it comes to who's putting the most money in the account that we're sharing. And so if I spend all my check and you still got money over there, I can't come into your money and be like, And
so I bet I feel like
can you give me some money because I didn't use all mine for whatever. And so, like, for me, I probably would want to have like a house account. If it has anything to do with the house or the kids, if we have those, fine. We have a savings account, same thing. It's for the home. But outside of that,
free for all.
Do it as you want.
That's tough though. When is it safe to start having those conversations, or because it's hard to approach that money stuff? Because we can talk about finances being stable, like can you take me out to eat? Can you do this, that, and third? And a person, a lot of people can afford to do that, but still don't have a budget that they follow every month. They just kind of live in the wind, swiping their card, hoping it go through by the end of the month. Paying their bills on the last day of the grace period, stuff like that. They say living pillar to post. So
I can't live that life.
I think for me, in all honesty, it will still be in phase 2. And I think once again, I said I'm going to present myself differently.
Right.
Once we talk about our past experiences, our family experiences, etc., then I got to tell you, look, I move differently and I acknowledge that, but I move differently because I want to see different from myself than what I've seen before. So when I tell you this, I'm not trying to pry into your business and make you feel some type of way. I just need you to understand if one of my big things, and we were talking earlier about Enneagram numbers. I'm a 7. My big love language is knowing I can be taken care of. I need safety and security.
Yep.
Yo, financially, this is how I move. I'm not broke by any means, but I'm not just gonna go out and ball all out because I need to always know I got something there, something happening.
Yes.
So I need to know, do you move the same? Or if something were to happen and we in this relationship together, I gotta be the boat because you ain't been building nothing over there.
Yeah.
Nothing. And you run into that more often than not. It's unfortunate. So do you all think there are any other things in this phase like that should be, I guess, on the table to talk about other than, you know, moving in, sharing things, the engagement? I guess ultimately the last thing to talk about is the actual wedding.
Children.
Do we want kids?
And
That's a deal breaker.
You know what? For that, and for some people it is, because I've seen time and time again, people, they either had the conversation and one person was listening, or they didn't have the conversation. I mean, seriously. So you'll be having a conversation with a person, you may want 5 kids, that man may not want one single child, and he has told you, I do not want children. However, you still live on the island of hope.
Yeah.
Oh, once we get married, he'll change his mind.
Or they get pregnant anyway. Lie about birth control or something.
And, you know, and then that's not, you're putting that person in a position that you know you would not want to put them in if you really love them.
Right.
And now a child's in a position that they can't do.
And so you're introducing another aspect. That could introduce resent to that child if you actually brought one in. Or you're sitting here and you're mad and resenting him when he already told you, this is what I want.
Yeah.
Everyone doesn't want children.
Yeah.
You know, just like everyone doesn't want the whole marriage thing and things like that. So it's like, listen to people when they're talking to you, but that's an important conversation because a lot of people, once they get married and somebody's living in this fantasy, like, once I get married, I want to have kids within the next year and a half. What we gonna do?
What do y'all feel about the answer? Because I've talked to guys and said, like, do you want kids? They're like, you know, if my wife want them. How do y'all feel about that answer? Is that a real answer? They kind of like indifferent. Like, I don't really gotta have none.
I guess it's why. Is he saying that because he realizes and acknowledges that he can't have a child? So he by himself can't birth a child. So if his wife wants a child, great, babe, we can have this baby.
That's a different perspective.
If she's like, I don't want a child, okay, well, I can't force that upon her.
Okay.
So like, is he maturely at that level? Because if so, then that's understandable. So that's something we gotta unpack.
Right.
I can take that over. Because if he say no, then okay, that's
it's
that's
a hard
done.
no. It's done.
But then,
it's done.
That's what it is.
I didn't even look at it that way.
I didn't either.
It's definitely something to unpack and talk about a little bit more because I've gotten that answer from men who have kids or don't have kids. I've got an answer saying like, no time soon. I'm like, well, that's out too. Because if it's like, if I know if I'm gonna be in a relationship, whatever, the next 3 years and have a kid, you talking about, I need a good 10 years. What I'm gonna do with you?
Right.
10 years.
Did she choke a little?
Because there's a lot.
I choked a little when I said it.
Because there's a lot that comes involved with having children.
Yes.
It can't be just the mother. Because back in the day, we've always seen how it's always the mother doing everything. But times is different. Women are working. They bosses. They doing their own thing. When you add a child into the mix of it,
it changes.
That's a 24/7 job.
24/7.
And you got to have a partner that is on board with you that can help take care of that child.
1,000%.
Right, that can take care of that child as well. Because you need a break too. You got to be able to recharge and come back and do what you need to do.
And I think that's why I said we have to unpack it, because when a man to me says, well, whatever she wants to do, it just sounds kind of lackadaisical to the point like, well, it's going to be your baby.
Exactly.
You know,
you won't be the one doing it.
Yeah, it's like, no. This is a partnership.
And I think the piece to it this is in everything that we pick up in all the phases, when you let it, if it has to be let go for any reason, or even if at the marriage you get a divorce, whatever, there's a healing process. But when you have children, knowing the other spouse doesn't want children, that's selfish. You're not the only one that's got to heal. You may heal and then move on and be like, okay, but this child now has a void that they going to always be seeking for somebody to fill.
Absolutely. That they wanted in that father that didn't want them, if it turns out that way, because you don't know when you show up. The dad might adapt and say, okay, or he might not. And act as if he didn't want this child and let the child know. And that's unfortunate on both ends. So I think when it comes to this phase, the biggest thing is that you just have to be able to make sound decisions. You got to make good decisions. And I think you have to make decisions that wrap around the communication with both people and looking at both sides of it, because that whole sharing stuff, that money stuff, that's a huge thing. I think a lot of times when women talk about money, men always think we're trying to be gold diggers or things of that nature. It's like, no, I just want you to say, I want to be taken care of. I want to be in a financially stable place, you know, amongst other things, because money may not make the world go around, but it helped with a whole lot.
What?
You know, so.
We found out it was wrong because of money.
Yeah.
they failed and realized they didn't fall out the earth because of money.
Absolutely. So in closing, for our resolution, we're going to do a quick round table. And I want us to all give one piece of advice you think could help with fixing the timeline epidemic. And think of it in a sense of, we haven't been always living our best lives according to the right timeline. And I think that we all live and we learn with growth and experience. So what is one piece of advice you would give to people when it comes to dating, relationships, and timelines? And we're going to start with you because you're right here.
So my one piece of advice is just to remember that it's not just about you. It's about someone else. There's going to be compromise. There's going to be some give. There's going to be some take, and sometimes there may be some heartbreak along the way. Yeah. But in that timeline, because it's about a relationship, relationships take work. If you find you at a point where it's taking something from you, or you're getting something that you're like, this ain't even what I'm about or what I want, then that means you're not wanting to do the work, and maybe this relationship ain't for you. And I say that whether it be conversations, because, you know, you got to talk about, like she said, finances. You need to talk about health, your health, their health, family health.
Yes.
Moving it, all of that.
We missed that phase too. Something about health.
That's true.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that are going to be required of you to make a relationship work. The phases are literally just that timeline and that blueprint to go through how to kind of navigate that. But if you find at any point like, hey, this is not the person I can do this with, sis, bruh, just step on out.
Yeah. Step to the side. I couldn't agree more. What do you think, Nicole? What's the thing, one piece of advice you would give?
If I could give it advice, it would be, don't miss the red flags. Don't dismiss them. If they're in your face repeatedly, different things, take them for what they are, because that will save you a lot of time, a lot of heartache down the line, and will ultimately help you to get better in seeing people. When you're talking to them, you know what type of things to look for. You know what things to catch because you've already dealt with that before. Yeah. So really have that good communication with individuals. Ask those questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. And again, just don't miss when there are triggers. There are things there is that something you really want to deal with?
Right.
You know, how important is it to you and your happiness? Because you want to be happy at the end of the day. You don't want to be happy for someone else.
Yeah.
Or on someone else's timelines or what you're seeing with other people. Be happy for you and do what's best for you.
At all times. Amen. What you got?
I would say, remember that any relationship is a decision. So no one's forcing us into any relationship. We all decide that that's what type of relationship we want, and we also decide the recipient of whatever it is we're trying to give in that relationship. But most importantly for me, I would think that yes, we talk about phases in a timeline, but remember to actually enjoy the journey of the relationship. Right. Because the relationship is not just about watching out for negatives or, you know, being guarded so much. You really do want to experience the joy of going down this same journey with someone else that's with you and, you know, learning along the way. Yes, there are bumps in the road. Yes, there are roadblocks in the road. And, you know, you have to make a decision together with another person how we're going to navigate this. But just remember to always make sure that at the end of the day, you're going to learn something, good or bad or in between. You're going to learn something from it, so just enjoy it while you have it.
Absolutely. It's like the work is in the background. You just enjoy the ride.
Absolutely.
In the front, you know. And I would say the last piece is don't skip phases out here looking for love. Look, let it find you.
Exactly.
You know, we tend to be in phase 1 trying to get to phase 3, then skip all of phase 2, the most important phase, because we got this idea of love in our minds. Married at first sight. I told you I go to Paris in July. Y'all gonna see me on 90 Day Fiance if I find a man. They say the other way. They doing a new one. Look, y'all can see me over there. That's why I'm skipping all the phases. Look. Giving all the advice. They like, she ain't following none of her advice. But seriously, don't go out here looking for love. Let it find you. These men are out here. These women are out here. They will come to you. They will find you. And if you put in the right time, effort, and energy, you will find whatever it is that you are looking for. So that concludes our episode. Give yourselves a round of applause. And where can we find you, Mika, on Instagram?
You can find me on Instagram at Positively Meek, POSITIVELYMYEEK.
On Instagram and...
So on Instagram, Twitter,
okay.
Facebook is my name, Shamika. And then also on the blog, which is just positivelymeek.com.
All right. Make sure y'all go find her. And Nicole and Keisha, I know y'all so proud, but y'all ain't got to get y'all stuff. You know. Appreciate nobody. But... All right. So I'll be right back with the Montana Minute. And now this brings us to the Montana Minute. The first thing, go back and listen to this episode a few times and take notes if needed. Just make sure you have truly soaked it all in, parts 1 and 2. The next thing, do some self-checking to see if there are any areas you need to change, delete, fine-tune, or update when it comes to how you have been moving in the dating and relationship world. Timelines are not for everybody, but for some of us, they will save us a ton of wasted energy and possible heartbreak. And lastly, if you've never lived by a timeline before now, think about why you didn't and if now having one can help you going forward the way it has blessed me. Because they aren't for everybody, but they can do more to help than harm for some of us. So be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the podcast and leave reviews as well. And this now brings us to the question where I leave you to decide to be single or not to be. Signing off, Shanna Montana.